In the meantime, we quickly move over to the dailies now. Let us take a look at what it is that they're saying this morning. And The Guardian, always focusing on the economy, has this as its headline: high OPEX, harsh environment hobble industrial revival, jobs. Okay, so that I would imagine that I'm trying to get what OPEX means, but I believe it has something to do with exchange, because right there you also see there harsh environment. So high OPEX, harsh environment, hobble industrial revival, jobs is their big story for you on pages 4 and 5. You have the exchange rate, and they put it in bracket there. That's a black market rate. They're quoting right there. It's at 1,165 naira to the dollar. Interest rate is as high as 18.75%. And they say between 2015 and 2023, the manufacturing sector lost over 200 players. Factory output continues to decline in volume and value. And this is something that should trouble us all in a country where unemployment rate is very high. And a lot of young people, I mean, this is us with a really heavy or a really joining youth population, with many more joining the jobs market. So this is a situation we cannot afford. Pages 4 and 5 will give you details of that story. Nigeria ranks 144 out of 163 in safest country ranking for 2023. Is this an improvement or is this a decline? You might want to take a look at page 20. Jega, Babachir, others reflect on INEC 2023 elections amid fresh appeal court verdicts. Indeed, the former INEC chair was speaking at something put together by Yaga Africa yesterday, and he had a lot to say about the register and how we need to do a lot more work in making sure that that register truly has the names of genuine voters and genuine voters alone. Talked about his own experience and what happened at the time, why it was difficult for them to merge or to sync all the data that had been collected, not just from INEC, but from other collected bodies. You might want to find details on page 6 of the paper. And look at this. Nigeria loses $10 billion yearly to imported welders. Minister laments. It's on page 3 of the paper. I guess we can leave it there for The Guardian.
That's a sad reality there, Maokwe. Very sad reality. It's 10 billion to welders. Oh, wow. Well, something related to what we opened with, Maokwe, is on the front page of the Nigerian Observer this morning. And it's a little different from the normal. Skepticism, outrage greets NNPCL's promise of no fuel queues at Yuletide. Skepticism and outrage? Well, I guess we'll find out why all of that. It's on the front page of the Nigerian Observer this morning. The story continues on page 3 of the paper. About the nameplate, Edo Governor drums state's investment potential at Belt Roads Forum in China. And there's a rider-only subnational invited to the Global Economic Conference. That's nice. So, I guess the issues aren't just going to go away. Right beside the nameplate, small businesses gasp for breath as rising costs threaten margins. You know, Mark, where I checked out, OPEX is essentially talking about the operating expenses of businesses, and this is what this story is definitely speaking to. The details of it you find on page 3 of the Nigerian Observer this morning. That's the paper today.
Well, taking a look at New Telegraph for you now, and they have this off-cycle polls. CTA carpets security agencies, political parties on vote buying, urges INEC to probe infractions. You might want to know who CTA is. The story is somewhere on page 3 of the paper, but the off-cycle poll certainly will be, talk of town for quite a while. Hopefully, it will not just be talk. It will be with a view to seeing how we can correct some of the things that went wrong during the off-cycle polls. There's obviously still generating reactions from amongst members of the public. Well, take a look at this at the bottom here. Appeal Court reverses Nasarawa governor sacking, says tribunal's judgment a nullity. To rule on Ogunguba today, PDP governors express mixed feelings over Appeal Court judgments. Imo Guba CTC will occupy INEC headquarters today. Excuse me. That's according to Labour Party. The story is right there on the front page of New Telegraph. They also have this oil output. Nigeria targets 1.8 million barrels per day ahead of OPEC's engagements, OPEC Plus engagement. You find that story right somewhere inside the paper. Naira weakens, something that is not very pleasant to read. Naira weakens to 956 Naira 33 kobo to the dollar at the official market. And a number of other stories right there. NEC directs governors to revamp agri sector, says states FCT owe 1.7 trillion Naira facility loan. So that story is on page 2 of the paper. Let's leave it there for New Telegraph.
Look at this Nigeria newspaper, and it is talking about food. Not very nice looking. NBS, Nigerians spend 61.08 trillion naira on food and others in 6 months. Mark, see where your money is going. Household consumptions account for largest share of real GDP at market prices, representing 57.18%, 68.05% in quarter 1 and quarter 2 of 2023. That story, find the details of on page 20 of the paper. Look at the bottom of the page. We've been talking about crude, stolen crude for a while. DHQ recovers over 500,000 liters of stolen crude oil in 1 week. How about the thieves? The people who stole the crude? Well, maybe you'll find the details of that on page 20 of this Nigeria newspaper this morning. Senate targets a $147 billion global bitumen market. Story you'll find on page 5. That's this Nigeria newspaper this morning.
He has its focus on the appeal court. Appeal court. NNPP wants justices probed over verdict. Page 4 is where you'll find details. I believe that this has to do with the Kano judgment, where the NNPP says that that verdict, was in their favor, looking at the contradictory statements that was made towards the end of the certified true copy of the judgment given on the electoral matter in Kano State. Page 4 is where you'll find details. NNPP wants justices probed over verdict. Challenges judgment on Kano governorship at Supreme Court. Anxiety as APC, NNPP fix protests for Saturday. Inua, Sule confirmed as Gombe, Nasarawa governors. So big focus on the Court of Appeal. Page 4 is where you'll get to find details. Look at this at the bottom here. Terrorism financing. Federal government orders probe of prison officers. Page 7 is where you get to see details as well. Economic Council mulls emergency budget for flood disasters. Is right there on page 7 as well. And Wike to partner Cuba, Mexico on investment in FCT. Our story is on page 11 for you. Let's leave it there for, just before we leave it there. As is writing on the back page, quite an interesting piece. Letter to rich Nigerians, why the poor are mad. You'll find details. Well, mad in that context also means angry. So let somebody takes it out of context. Letter to rich Nigerians. Is this letter addressed to you? You might want to pick up a copy of Leadership Friday, and let's leave it there for the paper.
The Nigerian Tribune this morning is talking about states and the FCT and how much they owe. That's it right there. States, FCT, OFG, 1.7 trillion naira in budget support facility. Isn't it a little disturbing that we've just been talking about trillions this morning? There's more of that that we'll be hearing this morning in the course of the program. For instance, 6 trillion naira tax waivers. Gosh. Anyway, we'll get to that one. Story is on page 2. Look at the writer. NEC rejects setting up National Flood Management Council, among other stories. About the nameplate. Lagos impounds 15 petroleum tankers for parking on Port Access Road. That story is on page 26. So, impounded. And then what? A slap on the wrist? Come get your trucks back? Or the VIS is going to do something? I don't know, I guess we'll wait. Beside that one, you find Kogi freezes state LG accounts. LG accounts again? Okay. Well, more of that you'll find on page 27. Labour Party factions clash in courts over suit against Imo governorship candidate. That story is on page 27, among several others on the front page of the paper today. That's the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
Well, take a look at Daily Trust now. They're focusing on the war on Gaza. That's the lead story on the front page. War on Gaza, Israeli-Hamas ceasefire begins today. 50 Israeli hostages, 150 Palestinians for release. Israeli forces launch fresh attack ahead of truce. Nigeria, 7 others reject selective application of international laws. West, Israel not ready for two-state solution. That's according to Palestinian envoy. You find details on page 4 of the paper. But coming back home and looking at a number of stories right here, Nigeria drifting in health sector. That's according to the National Economic Council. Something very troubling yesterday, taking a look at signing an agreement with European countries on addressing brain drain in Nigeria. Very interesting revelation from the governor of Bauchi State, who says he's built a lot of primary health care centers. He used to have 3,000 doctors, and now he has just about 100 doctors left in the state. Does it speak to where our focus has lain all of the while? The fact that we hardly pay attention to human capital, and ensuring that it stays here to work for us. Page 4, well, maybe it cannot be an it, has to be, because we're talking human beings here. Page 4 is where you'll find details. But take a look at this. Alleged terrorism financing, federal government orders probe of correctional service officers. They also have that. Kano residents panic as APC set for mass rally tomorrow. And why is this happening? This particular story. Kogi freezes state, local government accounts. Okay, did Kogi freeze his own state account? You might want to read details on page 26 of the paper. Let's leave it there for Daily Trust.
To be honest, Mafwe, I'm not as perturbed or disturbed by the fact that the state freezed its own account as I am about the fact that the state freezed the accounts of local government councils. Aren't they supposed to be autonomous by themselves according to the Constitution? Anyway, Business Day newspaper is next this morning, and you have this story on the front page, and the national opening office in Nigeria. Dubai opens Nigeria office in bid to boost trade, says move part of 10-year economic plan. You're wondering why? Well, you get the details. I have an idea, but you get the details on the front page, and the story continues on page 29 of the paper. It's essentially about strengthening partnerships. I won't tell you the details. Grab your copy now. And right beside that story, FG unveils security strategies to spur mining investment. Ticket racketeering booms on Akpakpa e-collab delays. Again, I thought we were over that. But hey, that's what you find on the front page of Business Day newspaper this morning. And above the nameplate, education, tech, internal mobility seen as key to retaining employees. Find the details of that, the rest of the details of that on page 21 of Business Day newspaper this morning. Well, that's Business Day, and a look at some of our papers today. We're back right after now to take on the issues. Do stay with us.